Just a bit of background. Kaya Sumaya, Henry was here. He was chief in 2000, and this is when this whole process began. And when I was chief before that, I only looked at economic development, business, employment, education. I didn't really understand treaty until at Henry's term in council and then Joe, it began this whole process of what is treaty and what is governance if we're going to be sovereign and everything else that we talk about. So they began the law, the treaty governance. First of all, Indian Affairs doesn't fund any of this treaty governance work. It's from our own source revenue. And to begin that process of establishing laws, the day before the treaty, we had laws, but they were never written. So discussion came amongst the elders and community members, a lot of home visits, a lot of work was put into this, getting the treaty governance to where it's at. And Kayasmina, there used to be an elders advisory, and so they reinstituted that. And the elders, the first time, selected themselves at the schools at that time. They came amongst themselves and they talked about it. I think it was a couple days. They met and what they wanted to see in the community. So they selected themselves, and now we had, in this day, we had to select elders through this whole process. And again, that didn't work. So again, we went back to the old system, and they had a meeting at the hall, or the elders that were interested in coming to be a part of this. So they selected themselves. So it's no longer, Chief, you put in Stella, Chief, you put in Rose. To your supporters and Florence, and so it's no longer that, because it come from Wiowa, the older people. And Elder Willard here is not a part of that formal process, but he's always here because he cares and he's interested. And he's always part of these meetings, and we always welcome that and appreciate that. So this is where this whole process began and originated from. And how, if we're going to be sovereign, if we're going to be independent and inherent rights to be reinstituted, we need to start establishing those laws. So it was a referendum process, and people got to vote on this in December. Again, it was difficult to get people to come out and vote. So what happened was decided amongst leadership is we have our PCD days in July usually or December. So we do the information sessions and get the people, and then there's as they're coming to get their per capita, the people here have a booth established there, and the notices are given and provided on this so-and-so date. We're going to be asking you to vote. So that's how we get our people to come out at a certain time, or even at treaty days, there's awareness sessions and information provided. So it's a long process, 18 years now, and we've been able to come through some of those laws. This year, this spring, there's election again. Our election law was completed many years ago, but there was some concerns and changes in wording, etc. And a lot of times, in order to get out of that system, you had to sign a BCR. Getting out of section is that of the Indian 64, 74 of the 2-year term. I mean, that was never supported in our council, collectively. But this past term, that was one of the things that elders and community talked about. When are we going to do this? When are we going to do this? So Florence can attest to this, she's a member of council. All 8 councils signed the Fan Council resolution along with myself that this coming election, we will use our own election law, which is, I believe, a 4-year term. And the idea, at least in my mind, was when you do this election law, then the convention law kicks in. Then the laws start to kick in. So we start to become one step closer away from the Indian Act and start to assert that these people, the membership, the citizens of Manila Lake, the treaty people, are the true authority, not Indian Act, not government, not all of those things.